Make time while you can take time, because time will soon take all you make. Welcome to another episode of Midweek Motivation with me, your host, Marcus. On today's episode, we're going to talk about the clock and the compass, okay? Now, before we talk about the clock and the compass, which are two forces that are part of our world, we live in a world that acts on us with forces within and from forces externally. Okay, and a quick word on forces is that the strongest forces in the world are invisible. Think about heat. Think about wind. Think about your thoughts. Think about heat when your mom was making cookies, turn that cookie dough into actual cookies. Think about the wind from like a hurricane, and think about your thoughts. Now, I say this because your thoughts, what's going on up here, is a big determinant in you being successful. Okay, now let's quickly talk about the clock and the compass. Okay, now the clock is a way of life. It's a metaphor for living life in a way that we live our life based on external forces. Now the compass is where you live your life based on internal force, when you interact instead of react. Okay, when you're living your life according to the clock, like what's right behind me, you live your life based on reacting what other people want you to do. For example, when you turn 18, you tell yourself, oh, I should go to college because I'm 18 years old now. Or your friend tells you, oh, you should come do this with us because, we just know what we're doing. So when you're living your life by the clock, you're living your life based on what's happening from you externally. Oh, it's raining outside, I'm not going to go out because it's raining, okay? Now, on the flip side, when you live your life based on the compass, you're living your life based on what's happening internally. You're like, you know what? It doesn't really matter what everybody else is doing around me. I'm going to do my own thing, okay? If I'm 18 years old and don't want to go to school and I want to start my own business, do something else, you can do that instead of just being like everybody else. Your mom tells you, oh, you should do this, you should do that. Like, the compass is all about what do I want to do with my life instead of being governed by everything else around us, okay? We live in a world where forces are constantly acting on us to do certain things, to not do certain things. And, the compass is all about what do I want to do in this given situation. Now, if you're going to try to be successful, you got to be able to be independent and be by yourself and act in your own special way. You got to be able to say it doesn't matter what everybody else is doing. I'm doing what I want to do, okay? Because that clock's always ticking, okay? Now, and this is an important thing about the clock, is that the clock this is a metaphor. It does not mean that your life is totally lived by how much time we have, because all of us, to a certain extent, have to live our lives based on how much time we have, okay? This is simply a metaphor to cover a general way of living, okay? Are we going to live our life based on external forces, the clock around us, or internal forces, the compass, okay? What's inside of us, our mission, what's important, our goals, okay? This is why it's so important to think for yourself if you're going to be successful, because you got to be able to chart your own path in life. You ever heard people say, oh, that guy beats to a different drum? This is what being led by the compass means. It doesn't matter what everybody else is doing or saying, because remember, success is determined by doing the opposite of what most people are doing. Most people are going to live their lives based on the clock, based on, okay, it's 3 o'clock, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z because it's 3 o'clock. Now, a lot of times we do have to make decisions based on time, but when most of your decisions are based on, okay, the clock, what is my friend doing? What is my next door neighbor doing? What is the news saying that I should do? This is when you know you're acting by the clock versus the compass. The compass says, okay, hey, it's raining outside, but I told myself that I'm going to run come rain or shine. I'm going to keep running, okay? That's what living by the compass is about, because you got to be able to chart your own course in life. Success is not standardized, which means that there is not one way to do it. As I've said before, the main thing to becoming successful is just doing what others won't. You got to be able to stand on your own 2 feet. And this is why a big part of success is, you got to stick your neck out, and it's hard, okay? Remember, if you do what's hard, your life will be easy. If you do what's easy, your life will be hard. It is easy to live by what is going on with the clock. The clock's ticking. Everything's moving around us, but sometimes we got to sit back and say, hey, you know what? What do I want to do in this given circumstance? Who do I want to be? Your mom's like, oh, you should be a doctor because I'm a doctor. What if you want to have a landscaping business, okay? So to summarize, the clock is all about living off of external expectations, external forces. The compass is all about acting on internal expectations, internal forces. So you got to get in touch with the spiritual side. You got to hear your intuition, okay? Now, everyone's made decisions based on their intuition. You ever met somebody and you're like, I don't have a good vibe about this person, and you decide not to do something about it? That's you acting off of the compass. Now, if you're going to be successful and chart your own path and be inspiring others, you got to listen to that internal voice most of the time. For example, when I started this channel, I felt an internal voice saying, you should do that, you should do that. Now, this voice is here all the time, but a lot of times it gets drowned out by all the noise around us. Remember, 90% is noise. Most things don't matter. Even the noise of this truck driving by. Most things don't matter, okay? But your internal voice knows a whole lot more than you think it does. It's very wise. And we all have it. You just got to listen to it, okay? So in closing, if you enjoyed this video, please share it with your friends and family. I post videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. And as always, unsuccessful people make decisions based on their current situation, and successful people make decisions based on where they want to be. Make decisions based on where you want to be. Make decisions based on the compass, okay? The compass will lead you to the right place. The clock won't. The clock's always ticking and telling you how to live your life this way or another, okay? Most people don't wake up from the clock till late in their life. You're like, you know what? I got to do stuff that is important to me, not because somebody said it should be important for me, okay? You got to be able to think and move differently, okay? All right, thank you so much. Bye.